Muted. All right, there we go. That's much better, man. What's up, CFO gang? No longer your boy J Tuck, man. It's Unk Tuck, as they call me on TikTok, man. I'm out the your boy, man. I've been saying it's your boy J Tuck since I was in college on the radio and DJing. I gotta lose it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta lose it, but it's just not a natural fit right now. It's just not a natural fit right now. So I gotta figure it all out. We'll get to the name, man. But salute to everybody out there. Whether you're watching on YouTube, CFO Sports, come on over if you haven't already. Instagram, what up? TikTok. Hey, man. Hey, man. Listen, y'all. TikTok is smoking y'all, bro. Salute to TikTok. Salute to TikTok. TikTok is smoking y'all boots right now, bro. I've done over 3 million views in 3 days. 3 million. 3 million. We've done over 3 million in 3 days on TikTok. Y'all got to catch up. Y'all got to catch up, man. YouTube got to catch up. Instagram got to catch up. We don't talk on Twitter no more. But some of y'all got to catch up because right now, TikTok, Cowboys Nation on TikTok is smoking y'all boots. So salute to TikTok, man. Salute to our sponsors and Sleeper. Use the code CFO, 20% discount. They matching 20% deposit still. I know football season is damn near over, but there's still money to make. Now, we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about, Cowboys Nation, as we just got our defensive coordinator, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. 215 Mike in the building. My audio's good now. My audio's good, man. What's up, Tuck? What up? What up? CFO gangs in the building, man. I see Craig on TikTok. Everybody on Instagram. Everybody's going crazy right now. We got thousands watching right now across the board, right? So we're going to keep things rocking, all right? Got a lot to talk about, but before we get into it, let me headline with this. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this content thing for about 6 years now. You know, it's crazy. I came into this game with CeeDee Lamb. Right? The very first video was saying how the Cowboys should draft CeeDee Lamb, right? So it's crazy, all right? And I'll say this. When it comes to today, there's going to be this Game of Thrones divide amongst Cowboys Nation, right? There are some people amongst Cowboys Nation who was Jim Leonard, Little Leonard, right? Jim Leonard, right? Or they were Durante Jones, right? It was just chaos, bickering back and forth, right? This big divide, whether it's going to get Jim Little Leonard, salute to Little Leonard, that's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Or Durante Jones, all right? And we ain't getting in one of them, right? So some of those people are going to be angry, mad, and upset that we did not get their guy, right? And man, oh man, they are going to be watching every little thing that Christian Parker does, right? He better not have one defensive player miss a tackle or it's going to be, see, I told you, because they're going to be so anchored in because Christian Parker wasn't their guy. So you're going to have that side of Cowboys Nation, all right? Then you're going to have, you know what I'm saying, which I kind of call like the Fairyland Cowboys fans who are just like, hey, man, it don't matter, Tuck, if they would have signed you, I would have just been happy. The happy-go-luckies. And sometimes I wish I was like those happy-go-lucky Cowboys fans where nothing really bothers them anyway. You know what I'm saying? You halfway know the roster. You halfway know who the people are. But it's still we them boys. You rep the star. You kind of just go out and just kind of just do your thing and kind of just get back and enjoy, right? So you're going to have those people, right, the opposite side of Cowboys Nation. And then you're probably going to have the side that I pretty much reside in a lot, where it's like, I ain't angry at the hire at all, but I'm not jumping on tables with excitement. I'm more like, okay, I think it's a good hire, but let's see the staff and let's see how things unfold, and we'll see. But the problem going to be with that, Cowboys Nation, y'all know how it is. You have to pick a side. Either you are going to have to hate Christian Parker and hate his guts, or you have to think he is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But this, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to, it's either or. You cannot be on the fence and sit back and say, all right, man, it's a good hire, but Let me see what the linebacker coach look like. Is he going to keep White Cotton? What's the scheme going to look like? What's the philosophy? What are we going to do in free agency? What's the like? We can't be those people, all right? Because they're going to be mad at us. They're going to make us pick a jersey, be on the hate Christian Parker train or love Christian Parker train. But I will say this, Cowboys Nation. Today is different, right? Today is different. My dog Los, what's going on, man? Y'all just we just started. We about 5 minutes in. You know what I'm saying? So y'all a little bit late, but y'all not too late, right? But today is different, Cowboys Nation, because we are seeing a change. Right? And I know people like to coin the phrase, Cowboys are moving different. They moving different, all right. They moving different. I think someone said it, right? It's a shock to you. I've been saying they've been moving different. Cowboys, Thanos, you're right. They move. This is different, right? This is different. This is a different approach. And it feels like Brian Schottenheimer, and I said this in other videos, right? He is able to play the game and get his way. And the Joneses are listening to Brian Schottenheimer, right? Because Mike McCarthy wouldn't have got this. He wouldn't have got this. Big Mike wasn't getting this, right? But it feels like when it comes to Shotty, they are open to listening to what Shotty has to say. Because if you sit back and just look at the pool of candidates that we interviewed, there was not too many old dusty rusties that we was turning on the Zoom camera for. You know, we like the old dusty rusties, right? An old coach that was the man back in 1945. You know what I'm saying? The Mike Nolans and the laws and the laws, right? You know, this is different. Shotty has their ear. And they're actually listening to Brian Schottenheimer. And this is something that's unique in Dallas because this has never happened before, right? So from a Cowboys lens and standpoint, right, whether you was a Jim Leonard guy, whether you was a Durante Jones, whether you was, I was a Raheem Morris guy, right? I know there's some Jim Swartz people out there. I think we all can agree, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, hey, we gonna celebrate that it ain't Gannon. We gonna celebrate that it ain't Jonathan Gannon, right? We gonna celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Pop bottles to that because I was not gonna do the whole Jonathan Gannon thing. And honestly, y'all, I was getting a little nervous. Where it was like, all right, man, they interview him for a second interview face to face. Like I was getting a little nervous, right? But it feels like Brian Schottenheimer got his guy in Christian Parker. And I spoke to a few Eagles people, a few Eagles media people, a few Eagles content creators. And they're like, Tuck, I ain't gonna hold you, man. Y'all got y'all one, right? Y'all got y'all one, right? I talked to a few players. They was like, man, I like dude. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like we have someone who is young, innovative, right? Rising, like, y'all keep getting me on the other word, right? Rising with talent. I think Green Bay interviewed him. I forgot who else. Maybe the Saints interviewed him. So there's been some opportunities for Christian Parker to get other jobs. Yeah, my dog Bumpy in the building, man. Yeah, he came from Philly, right? So he was Philly's DB coach. We'll get to that here in a second. It says Jonathan Gannon bombed the second interview. I don't care what Jonathan Gannon did. I'm just glad he's out of there. Because I was starting to get a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? They had me scared. They had me scared in the second half. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like we got a young, rising talent. Now, I will say this, devil's advocate. All right. My drawback or my hesitations, right? Whether it's Brian Schottenheimer or whether it's Christian Parker, it's really not a knock to them who they are specifically as men, who they are as coaches, right? This is just human nature. My biggest kind of personally is the timetable, right? And let me put myself into the mix, full transparency. So back in 2020, right, when I started as a content creator, right, before I would go live, man, I would have to set up an hour ahead of time. If I had a guest on, I would have to, see if they can jump on an hour to make sure their boxes was properly right and their channels was connected. If I go live and y'all start saying, hey, my mic was out, I would get rattled and not know how to fix things, right? And if y'all say, hey, man, Tuck, we can't see you. I'm looking at my camera, but not sure what my camera. I didn't know what setting to fix. And y'all remember sometimes I would go live and be there loud echo. And that's because I have the phone system going through the data cord. And it was just causing a frenzy, right? And I used to be so frantic, all right, because I was new, right? It was my first time doing content. So there was things that I was experiencing that was a learning curve for me, all right? Now, 5 minutes before the show, I'm good. Y'all say I can't hear you, Tuck. I know it's that button, right? Tuck, we can't see. Oh, camera 2 is off. I need to switch to camera 3, right? So I've learned off experience, right? For all my Locks fans out there, living off experience, all right? The concern with me is that now you have 2 coaches on the offensive side of the ball as your head coach and your defensive coordinator. They are cutting their teeth at the same time, all right? So there might be, Cowboys Nation, and you have to prepare yourself for this, delayed gratification. We might not see the bear fruits of this hire to maybe 2 years down the road, because there's going to be situations where he's going to just say, damn, I didn't see that one. All right, be smooth, man. Locks reference. The kids don't know about living. They don't know about Locks, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be things that Shotty got hit with, right? Shotty got hit with that Brian Flores, Durante Jones, and he said, man, I don't know what the hell they just hit me with. I ain't seen nothing like that, right? There's going to be some things that Christian Parker is going to have to learn and grow. Think of this, y'all, is just like a draft pick, right? No draft pick is going to, there's some, right? But sometimes it's going to take the draft pick a little bit, bumps in the road, right? It's going to be the same thing with Christian Parker. Remember, he's young, he's 34, right? Even though he's been around, we'll talk about his juncture in the league. There's going to be some situations where it's like, all right, you're having to learn from your mistakes, all right? So that's the one thing I want to caution Cowboys fans are. Now, it says last year, Dak's contract could be a hell of a year. This is I would say the divide, right? Because there is a portion of Cowboys fans saying, you know what? I don't want to waste the prime of Dak's career, right? I don't want to waste the prime of Dak's career, right? And I have said that numerous times, and I 1,000% agree, right? I would have liked to have had a guy that's kind of been through the fire, right? That stood across. It's different between being a DB coach and standing across Kyle Shanahan in the playoffs thinking, God damn, what is he hitting me with? It's a difference, right? You have to go through that and experience it first. Now, granted, Christian Parker has been against Kyle Shanahan under Vic Fangio, right? So it's different when you're standing there and everything is on you, right? So I want to pre-warn Cowboys fans, let it unfold, right? Let it unfold. Give it time, right? Because if y'all know how I talk about Dallas Cowboys hit pieces on players, you are about to see a hit piece that y'all have never been seen before. Them people that's mad they didn't get Jim Leonard, them people that's pissed off that they didn't get Jim Leonard, they are coming at the Christian Parker, bro. They are coming. They are going to spin the block, right? And don't allow them to manipulate you to feel like, yeah, he sucks. It's the same old. We shouldn't have, right, because it is coming, right? Give Christian Parker time to develop. Give Christian Parker the time to get what his guys are. I saw someone asking me, right? What's his type of player in the draft? Is it Sonny Styles? Is it Anthony Hill Jr.? We don't know. He ain't never been a defensive coordinator before. We're going to figure it out on the fly. You know what I'm saying? We're going to figure it out on the fly. Maybe he don't like big, tall, physical corners. Maybe he likes little bitty Asante Samuels, right? So we're going to have to figure this thing out together. But the thing that I want to just pre-warn Cowboys fans, be fair. I'm not saying you got to be all sunshine and rainbows. If he's out there effing up, we'll talk about he's effing up, right? But let's not just hate Christian Parker because he's not our guy, right? He's not the guy I wanted, right? And we're wanting him to fail. I don't want anybody to fail. Even when the Cowboys get draft picks that I don't like, I want them to succeed because if they're succeeding, more likely that's helping the Cowboys fan. I'll have me, right? So let's get behind Christian Parker and give it time, right? I'm not saying you got to hate him. I'm not saying you got to love it, right? But let's see how it all unfolds. We start anchoring on our bias. So getting to Christian Parker. TikTok, y'all can't see this guy. Come over to CFL Sports. You want to see all the cool little graphics, all right? Bang. I'm not sure if even Instagram can see this. Instagram, y'all can let me know if y'all can see this or not. All right. Let's see. What's going on? Why is the graphic blue? Can y'all see this graphic? Hold on. What's going on? Why is it blue? Y'all can see it? Hold on. Let me do this again. Hold on. Let me move y'all real quick. Can y'all see this graphic? I know. It's blue to me. All right, cool. Anyways, let me see. Hold on, let me get back. Remove this. Why is it removed? Add the stage. Add the graphic. All right, there we go. All right, we good. Y'all can see it. All right, it was blue for me for some reason. All right. See, that's one of the things that comes with experience, right? 4 years ago, I would have been cooking. You know what I'm saying? I would have been scrambling, nervous. You know what I'm saying? With experience, I knew something had to be up. All right. So Christian Parker, all right, 2020, he was with the Green Bay Packers. He was a defensive, what do they call it? Defensive operations coach. One of those little fancy titles, right? 9th in total yards, 7th in passing yards under Mike Patine. Then he was under Vic Fangio, the Denver Broncos. And I'm trying to remember. Was that the game that we got packed up? Was that 2021? I believe so. Was that the game? I think that was the game where Vic Fangio packed us up at home at AT&T Stadium, if my memory serves me right. Right? Him and Javonte Williams was crazy. Crazy. I think that was 2021, right? It all starts to blur together. But that was a horrible loss. Then, right, under Ejiro Evero, right, 7th in total yards, 12th in passing yards. Then Vance Joseph, they kind of tailed off in Denver with Vance Joseph, all right? But he has coached Patrick Surtain, right? And then Philadelphia Eagles under Vic Fangio as a DB coach, right? 13th in total yards, 8th in passing yards allowed. So he has been around some good football minds. He is like Brian Schottenheimer, right? And I'm not sure, how old some of y'all are. One of my favorite cartoons is Avatar, right? Avatar. We'll get to that here in a second. I got you, bro. Avatar, The Last Airbender, right? And it feels like Brian Schottenheimer and also Christian Parker, they're like avatars, right? They have learned a lot from some of the elder statesmen across the NFL, right? So you're able to bend water, fire, earth, air. You know what I'm saying? And then when you have that, so you might get you a little Vance Joseph, little Vic Fangio. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, man. They're about to come out with season 2 on Netflix, actually. I love the remake. The original movie was a huge disappointment. Just Blaze as Captain Planet. Avatar is like an improved Captain Planet, but it's the same principles, right? So you kind of get those different philosophies under your belt, and now I'm just going to allow him to kind of bend, right? These are some of the things that Denver did under Vance, right? A lot of people wanted Jim Lillard because of his ties to Vance Joseph and that defense in Denver, all right? Well, Christian Parker has some of that exposure. He also has some exposure what Vic Fangio's doing. Now, when we play in Philly, it might be a different situation, you know what I'm saying? Because he might pack that up, right? Because whoever the offensive coordinator, you know what I'm saying? But he has that tenure of being under quality guys. A lot of Avatar fans in the building. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Avatar, man. The first cartoon, man, I remember watching that finale. When Aang was going against the fire gods, I was like, get their ass, Aang. You know what I'm saying? What is that? I was going crazy in my living room. When Aang turned into an avatar, boy, hey, man, that's one of my favorite scenes, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was about that smoke, right? But I see a lot of people talking, right? Quarters-based coverage, right? So for those of you who do not know, keeping 4 over the top, right? Keeping everything in front. Now, you can go get some guys that gets pressure. But here's the thing, y'all. We still have to see it, right? You remember how when Dan Quinn came to the Dallas Cowboys, right? He was cover 3, cover 3, cover 3, cover 3, cover 3. I made videos. Dan Quinn, cover 3, cover 3, cover 3, cover 3. Dan Quinn got to Dallas and say, hey, bro, they can play some man here. You know what I'm saying? We can play some man here. I didn't have this. I didn't have this in Atlanta, right? So he adjusted, right? He adjusted to the personnel and the caliber of players that he has, right? So I know that predominantly, right, you might think he's a cover 4 quarters guy, but I think that Christian Parker, if there's any question the Cowboys probably asked him in that interview process, is being able to adjust your scheme, right? Because Stephen Jones, right? Stephen Jones, he'll go grocery shop. Right now here in Kansas City, we about to get hit with a snowstorm. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be frozen over for the next 3 to 4 days. My wife's at the grocery store, right? But Stephen Jones ain't going to fully grocery shop to fit you. You're going to have to be able to cook with some of the groceries that we already have in house, right? So he is going to be able to adjust his scheme around some of the things that we currently have, but you also got to go grocery shop a little bit to go get what he needs, all right? So when you think of the pros and cons, y'all like my graphics. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting back in my graphics game, y'all. I used to do all this stuff on my live shows and get graphics and do all sorts of stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I got lazy. I got a little lazy. I ain't gonna hold you. I got a little lazy, right? But now we're getting back to the graphics. We're getting back to basics. You know what I'm saying? We're getting back to basics. All right. So yeah. So when it comes to Christian Parker, some of the positives, all right. I think he's going to be around for 5 years, win, lose, or draw. His persona is infectious and draws you in. Yardy's personality, it does. Right? You know what I'm saying? I ain't afraid to admit it. I was sitting there watching a Dallas Cowboys interview, taking my notes. When we first hired Brian Schottenheimer, my wife coming downstairs, I think she was bringing me a drink or something. She said, who's that? I said, oh, that's the new Cowboys coach. She says, oh, I like him. I'm like, get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shotty about to pull my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, go on. I'm trying to work here. But Shotty's just that, personality that you want to be around. I'll say this, Brian Schottenheimer, you have unlimited access to the cookout, bro. Hey, Brian Schottenheimer has unlimited invite to the cookouts, bro. You good, fam. You good. Brian Schottenheimer is good at the cookouts. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Brian I need to ask. I'm going to ask Shotty at the Senior Bowl next week. Hey, bro, you know how to do the electric slide? I think Shotty knows how to do the electric slide. I think Shotty knows how to play dominoes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Shotty, hey, you know what I'm saying? Shotty's invited to the cookouts. All right, so back to Christian Parker. All right, he has worked almost exclusively under elite defensive coordinators that we just spoke about, okay? His teams have overwhelmingly ranked in the top 10 in pass defenses. Now, they're not his defenses per se, but, bro, y'all know Shotty knows how to play dominoes. Shotty knows how to play spades. He knows how to do the electric slide. You know what I'm saying? Ask Shotty. Here's a trick question for Shotty. Ask Shawty to sing happy birthday. I guarantee you, I know what version he gonna sing. I know what version. You know what I'm saying? I think I know what version Brian Schottenheimer is going to sing when he has to sing happy birthday. He got a lot of seasoning. He's one of the first coaches we had in a long time that actually has some seasoning, not just the salt and pepper. He has like the Creole season, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all ever marinate a steak, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, Shotty's season. He has that KC barbecue season, that KC flavor, right? Even though he went to Blue Valley. Hey, man, him and Nick Harris, man. Salute to my dog Nick Harris, man. Nick Harris, that's OG. You know what I'm saying? I got to meet Nick Harris at the Super Bowl last year, man. And it was funny because I never met Nick in person. And I pull up to Nick, man. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? Jay Tuck from Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, blood to meet you. He's like, oh, man, what's good, bro? I was like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? What's good, man? You know what I'm saying? Me and Nick locked. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, okay. What's good, Nick? You know what I'm saying? I had no clue. I reached in for the professional handshake with Nick. Me and Nick locked. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, bro. He's one of us. I would never do. So when it comes to Christian Parker, he understands how to coach Fangio style matches coverage, split safety structures, as you guys already mentioned, right, and disguise heavy looks. All right. Exposure in multiple systems gives him the flexibility, whether it's rigid or ideology, meaning he's a flexible coach, right? And you watch him in, yeah, he is, man. You know what I'm saying? He Nick, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that means that he is not going to be rigid, right? That was Matt Eberflus's biggest downfall last year, right? Rigid. My way or the highway. Highway. I don't like grits. Christian Parker like grits. Next, we got the Senior Bowl. Hey, Coach, welcome to Dallas, man. Jay Tuck, CFO Sports, nice to meet you. Hey, Coach, I got a quick question for you. Do you like grits? He's going to be like, oh, man, I like me some grits, man. Sometimes, you know, I put some butter and shit. You ain't got to explain this. I just had a simple question, bro. Did you like grits? That's all I wanted to ask you real quick, man. You ain't got to go into detail what you put on your grits. Some people eat them for breakfast. Some people eat it with the steaks. All right? But, hey, man, I just want to ask you, do you like grits? Christian Parker likes grits. I can tell you he likes grits, right? So he's not going to be rigid in his defensive philosophy, all right? He's going to be able to adjust, all right? Even during down years, notably 2023 in Denver, Parker gained firsthand experience adjusting within struggling defense, valuable context for leading his own unit. Hey, bro, y'all know Christian Parker like grits. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to ask him. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Fish and grits. I think grits is a breakfast food, personally. All right. Cowboys personnel already fits a split safety. Possibly. Disguise concepts. Emphasis on covered integrity benefit rushers like Micah Parsons. We don't have a Micah Parsons anymore, but we have a Micah S. Parsons type player that I think that we really need to unlock, and that's Donovan Izaraku. Experience in coaching DBs, aligning with Dallas investment in the secondary, young coordinator with high level of mentorship pedigree. And I think that's going to be the number one thing that I'm excited about, y'all. He's going to be able to relate. He's going to be able to relate. If Trayvon just could have held on for a few more weeks, you would have won. You got a new defensive coordinator and new DB coach. You could have held on for this 4 more weeks, bro. You know, but I just don't see the Dallas Cowboys defense, whoever they might be, quitting on Christian Parker. I don't see that, right? I think this is going to be a guy that the Dallas Cowboys defense and players will rally around. And like I said, if you look at it from the optics standpoint, right? If you're a defensive player, you got to see all the fun, all the excitement, all the hype, all the energy, all the on the offensive side of the ball. There was no, I mean, you probably had White Cotton, I would probably say has the most, right? But there was no swag. There was no identity. There was none of that on the defensive side of the ball, right? Ask Tuck, would just a first get Max Crosby? Yeah, nah. You might get TJ Max Crosby. You know what I'm saying? You might get TJ Max Crosby from one first, but you're gonna have to give up plural to get the real Max. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? Cowboys AJ, what's going on with you, dog? Yeah, you don't get TJ Max Crosby for a first round pick, but not the one I think that you guys are looking for. All right. So I think that Christian Parker is going to be able to relate, get the ear of the defensive players, but we also got to see, right? Here's where I'm excited about, Cowboys Nation. Just me, right? Yeah. People act like Jay Tuck can't get excited about Cowboy shit no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, now you're excited? Damn, I can't get excited about my team no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn. People get mad now when I get excited. Oh, okay, there he is. But just last week, you were upset that we wasn't in the playoffs. Well, yeah, I was upset that our season was over, right? But there are some things in the offseason I am excited about, right? And what I'm excited to sit back and watch is the staff put together. All right. This is what I'm really excited about, right? The staff that will be put together, because all them interviews, they wasn't just for DC positions. They wasn't just for DC positions, you know? So eventually, this coaching wave that's going around, it's going to start to fade, right? And then people are going to get antsy a little bit, all right? Hey, Zach Orr. I mean, right? Ain't nobody else calling. I don't think Harbaugh picked up the phone, baby. He trying to get Jim Leonard. You know, you spent all that time over there in Baltimore with Harbaugh, and he ain't put you on staff yet. He calling Jim Leonard, bro. I mean, but you can come over here in Dallas and join what we got. Be a linebacker coach, bro. Linebacker coach, bro. Right? Can we still get Durante? According to OG Nick, it felt like the Dallas Cowboys pecking order, Christian Parker, Durante Jones was as a close second. They said Jonathan Gannon dropped the ball, thank God, right? And I'm not sure. I think the Jim Leonard thing really happened was, and I put this on my Instagram, everybody gonna come calling. And the Cowboys listen to Jay Tuck and say, you know what, bro? I ain't gonna sit around the dance floor and let all these baddies walk past me waiting on little Leonard only to get told no, and then now I'm scrambling. So if you spoke to Jim Leonard and you didn't get the feel that, all right, this is where I really want to be, just let me finish this Denver shit up and I'll get with y'all, because hold this spot for me because I want to be the DC for the Dallas Cowboys. If it's kind of like, hey, you know, good interview and got some other interviews and, I can, man, hey, bro, I'm not sitting on the dance floor waiting for you. All right, so next, because that's how you get left holding the bag, right? So the Cowboys probably say, hey, Jim Leonard got some interviews. I hear the Jets want to interview, the Packers want to interview, the Giants want to interview, the list, all these people want to interview. I am not going to spend the next 2 to 3 weeks waiting on Jim Leonard to interview for all these jobs. And then I lose Christian Parker, and then Durante Jones goes back to the Vikings, and now I'm scrambling. Go get me my guy right now, and we'll just move forward, right? So I commend the Cowboys for doing that. I was getting worried. All right. So can they still get Durante? I mean, in the words of Kodak Black, I hope so, but I highly doubt that he's going to be a assistant defensive coordinator man or whatever those little jobs are. Quality control, all those little fun little job names they give coaches. He ain't doing that, right? So, I mean, if things will hit the fan, he can just go back with Flores in Minnesota and get back cooking. So someone asked, right, Do I think this was a shoddy hire? 1,000%. This is 1,000% a shoddy hire. Yeah, Jerry ain't. And also, I really think what helped is Jerry fumbling the bag last year with Matt Eberflus. Now, he tried to put Matt Eberflus on shoddy. All right, so let me ask y'all this. Seeing the candidates that we interviewed last year versus seeing the defensive candidates we interviewed this year, don't you feel like there's a completely different separation? Doesn't it feel completely different? I mean, Christian Parker has zero ties to the Cowboys, zero ties to Brian Schottenheimer, zero ties to anybody. Last year, it was that old linebacker coach who coached Sean Lee and Jalen Smith. And you know what I'm saying? Shotty was in the driver's seat this time. And if you're Brian Schottenheimer, you're 3 for 3. You're 3 for 3. There was a war. There was a divide between trenches and team weapons. Now, I was team weapons like a mother. I ain't gonna lie, right? I was team weapons, right? But Shotty was booker, right? Tyler Booker, right? Power, right? That was Brian Schottenheimer. In the organization and Stephen Jones, they wide receiver, right? Tet. Now, if we would have got Tet, we still would have cracked. You know what I'm saying? But Shotty was Tyler Booker. And we got Tyler Booker, and a lot of people were like, ah. But that Tyler Booker pick cracked. All right, Shotty. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because that hit, right? Then you got to think. Rashad Bateman for the Baltimore Ravens was who we picked up the phone on draft day to call and inquire about. Ravens said, "No, we're not going to trade Rashad Bateman, dumbass. We're not going to trade Rashad. Thank you. We're not going to trade Rashad Bateman," and hung up the phone on us. Shardy said, "Let's make a play for George Pickens." Oh, hell. In Pittsburgh? Man, you out your damn mind. George effing Pickens out of Pittsburgh? Shit. Hell no, bro. Hell no. We are going to run out Jonathan Mingo and Dylan Tolbert and get things cracking. Shotty said, "I can handle it, man. I can handle it. I got it. It's all right. I'll handle it." Can you believe this guy? He wants George Pickens. You know what I'm saying? George effing Pickens. This guy. Fine. Let's just bring George in, but this is the last one you get. Started cracked another one over the fence. Right? Think about another one. Offensive line coach. You went to the college ranks. Connor Riley. Crack that shit over the fence. Clayton Adams. Crack that shit over the fence. Now, hold on. We're going to do something fun, Cowboys Nation. All right? Y'all ready? Jim Leonard. Passing game coordinator defensively for the Broncos defense. All right? Christian Parker, DB coach, quality control, defensive passing game coordinator, right? Durante Jones, DB, right? Passing game coordinator experience, right? If we are going to give, gotta do me a favor. TikTok, Instagram, please do me this favor. If we are going to give all of these coaches defensive passing game coordinators credit for the defense, can we please, begging you, give Ken effing Dorsey, our passing game offensive coordinator, some credit to the success of our offense? Can we? Because we can't give Christian Parker, the DB coach, credit for Vic Fangio's secondary and then be like, Ken Dorsey, our offensive passing game coordinator, gets zero credit for the way our offense was clicking, the spacing when it comes to our wide receivers, and the concepts was a whole lot different. That was Ken effing Dorsey, y'all. Ken effing Dorsey put Josh Allen in the MVP conversation before he won it, right? Ken effing Dorsey put Cam Newton in the MVP conversation as an offensive coordinator, right? So we sit back and we see our offense clicking, and we're just like, oh, Shoddy took over the play calling, offense is clicking, right? Or Clayton Adams, offensive. No. You got to give our passing game offensive coordinator some credit too, just like we've been doing these hires for the defensive side of the ball. It's a little J Tuck ask, right? Because from somehow Ken Dorsey, which is a forgotten factor, right? I used to ask media people, hey, man, how's Ken Dorsey doing? Has anyone talked to Ken Dorsey? They're like, who? I mean, do you not watch college football? I mean, even though I hate Miami's guts and I'm glad they got packed up, right? Ken Dorsey is one of the winningest players in college football history. You watch what this man done from quarterback to quarterback, nothing but success has followed him. Then he gets to Dallas, and he's just like, hey, man, he's just a passing game coordinator. He gets no credit. Give Ken Dorsey some credit, all right? So Shoddy gets credit, right, for some of these things. Now, I will say this, right? There are some things I think Shoddy has to improve on. There are some things he's done that I do not agree with. But when it comes to the hire of Christian Parker, he is owed some credit. So let's sit back and wait and see. Let me see it. Right? I think we owe Shoddy that, right? Let me wait back and see. Now, I'll get on Shoddy about that run game and abandoning it, and sometimes in the red game offense and the second half offense. Like I'll get on Shoddy for that shit. But for some of these acquisitions, you got to give him some credit for that. Javonte Williams shit cracked. Quinnen Williams cracked regardless, he had to deal with the turmoil in your first year coaching of losing Micah freaking Parsons. Like, there was a lot that happened in Shoddy's first year. A lot. A lot to me. Shoddy's turning gray right before us. You know what I'm saying? My dog used to be smooth, right? Now my dog is turning gray. Because that's what Jerry do. Jerry will gray you up. You know what I'm saying? He'll make your shit recede, right? Trust me, I know, right? So I think that we have to give Shoddy the fair judgment to let's sit back and wait and see. And for me personally, I'm excited to see what's the next move. My bad. My bad. I got the Miami fans in here. Packed up, last minute win for Indiana. Miami made a huge jump this year. Y'all jumping to the back of the line, man. Y'all been NILing your quarterbacks for the past 2 years. I get that. But eventually, it's going to come back to midnight, Cinderella. And if we're talking about Miami football, y'all let Indiana, a basketball school, walk in y'all trap and take over y'all trap, bro. It was tons of Hoosiers fans out there. And the championship game was in Miami. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like having the Super Bowl in Dallas and it's 90% Chiefs fans compared to Cowboys fans. I ain't do that. I ain't do that. Like you said, when it comes to play calling, Shawty be like, bet, watch this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's some things that we can tweak. The Miami fans, Mr. Get Right, forget Miami. You know what I'm saying? Hey, 0-0, little bro. You know what I'm saying? But hell, Florida ain't doing nothing either. But yeah, I think that Shotty is due the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's see how this Christian Parker thing unfolds. I see so many people just mad in my comments. I posted a YouTube short, mad. He sucks. Get rid of him. He blah, blah. He used to play for the Eagles. He's just coming to Dallas to spy on the Cowboys and give the Eagles all. It's really common. He's just coming to Dallas to spy on the Cowboys and give the Eagles all of our plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cowboys fans are just freaking out right now about Christian Parker. And because I do understand it's not a trendy name, it's not a popular name. You know what the funny thing was? Yesterday we went live since my Cover 3 brothers, right? I made a thumbnail and I had Christian Parker on it, right? But YouTube, for some reason, would not let me upload the thumbnail. It kept telling me change the thumbnail. And I think it's because I used like a licensed photo of him. So I took it off and put Cassius Howe on the thumbnail, right? Because they wouldn't let me put Christian Parker on there for some odd reason yesterday, right? I'm like, damn, man, I should have kept that thumbnail because it would have hit like, you know what I'm saying, today. But there are so many Cowboys fans that are upset at Christian Parker in the hire, and you really just don't even know about it yet. That happens, does. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Shark tooth tuck, man. You know what I'm saying? I always keep the shark tooth on me, man. Keep the shark tooth on me. I like the shark tooth, man. So yeah, give Christian Parker the fair benefit of the doubt. Let's see it all translate. Let's see how the staff is put together, right? I know that's not a sexy analysis from Tuck, right? I know some of y'all want me to either be mad and kick over my desk and slap my phone over because I hate the hire, or be jumping on tables saying we got our guy Super Bowl bound. Right? Super Bowl's in LA, by the way. Valentine's Day next year. It's gonna be fun. I'm not there. I'm just like, hey, man, I think it's a good hire. I'm excited to see the staff put together. Let's sit back and wait and see how it all unfolds. So if you ask me, Tuck, how I feel, I'll probably have to tell you, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. I think it's a good hire. It could have been worse. I'm excited to see how it unfolds. Want to see the staff put together, right? I want to see how he relates to the player. Spoke to a few players behind the scene that remain unnamed. They're excited about it, you know, and I'm good, right? I'm good. I'm happy we can move on. Now, it's going to be tricky for me from a draft perspective because I don't know what bro likes, right? I don't know his grocery style. I don't know his type. I don't know nothing about him as far as what he likes to draft, right? So we're going to have to figure it on out. But I saw someone post in the comments, corner, you know what I'm saying? I think that corner is definitely in play. If you get a DB coach, you're going to want a corner unless he's feeling that he can coach Deron Bland back up and coach Javon Rebel back up, right? That is not a necessity, all right? So maybe that's the case, but I would be watching corners heavily in the draft. We're going to do some film on Avian Terrell tomorrow. Then we'll do Mansour Delane. Today is Thursday, right? So it'll be Avian Terrell on Friday, Mansour on Saturday. I just dropped the film session on Anthony Hill Jr. Appreciate everyone who watched that. Texas don't like me doing film on their players for some reason. So sometimes they'll just pull the film down. They already hit it, but I'm just leaving it up until they pull it. So go watch that film session because Anthony Hill Jr. is lights out. Yeah, I agree, but I'm not taking him in Dallas, not with no knee injury. I like to hire a real coordinator just like Shotty, right? Just like Shotty. First time subscriber, welcome. Do you think Jerry Jones will allow Parker to choose his own coordinators, or Jerry would keep a coach or two from his previous regime? The only guy I think that will be kept is White Cotton. I think White Cotton will be the only one that's probably maintained. And the real reason is because his connection with Quinnen Williams. And I really think they like White Cotton, right? So if there's anyone that I think that's going to be retained from last year, it would be White Cotton, right? Now, it's going to be interesting because our DB coach in Overstreet, he's coaching the Senior Bowl next week, and I mean, I don't think you're gonna. I don't say what's that Magic Johnson meme? I ain't gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if bro gonna be in Dallas. So, but he's coaching the Senior Bowl next week. I highly doubt that he retained, right? But he's from Missouri, so you know what I'm saying. If you move on from him, it's just business as usual. But it's going to be interesting. What about Clayton Adams? Clayton Adams on the offensive side of the ball, so Clayton Adams is going to be good, right? He's an offensive coordinator. We got a defensive, right? Two sides of the ball, all right? But, yo, that's my thoughts, man. But it ain't just about me, Cowboys Nation. Y'all hear me talk every day, all day, right? I want to hear from y'all. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn on the phone lines, let y'all call in, and bang here. Let me get y'all right. Instagram. Nope. Wrong button. But see, yeah. Bang. Yeah. So I can do that, right? So go ahead, give me a call. Call line is open. It is 530-399-4100. Hit the access code 506-9493. Let me put that in the chat. And I want to hear from y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? My voice gets raspy. I'm doing 3 or 4 shows a day now, keeping your boy in high demand. Y'all do some talking. Y'all do some talking right now. I want to hear from y'all. So give me a call. Let's see here. 943 pound. All right. Bang. All right. So go ahead. Give me a call. We're already starting to file in. Now we're going to have a bunch of calls. All right. So let's take our time, right? Let's take our time and make sure we're good there. Okay. Yo, caller, state your name, where you're from. Yep, caller.
You got me too?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can y'all hear him?
Okay. I didn't know if I was on mute or on hold or I was just listening in, but yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good?
Yeah, this D shit, bro.
What's going on with you, dog? Can y'all hear him? Yeah, okay, y'all can hear you. Good. Your audio's good. All right, what's going on with you, dog?
Okay, man. I I'm feeling everything you're saying about the moves that Shotty's making, and I also agree on just him just need to be better about just the rhythm of the game and not taking those risks, and the beginning of the game, just taking those for sure points.
Right.
Like my eyes have been telling me, like there's a lot of games where if you don't take the points and if you set yourself up, you can kind of dictate the game as you have those points.
Hold on one sec, bro.
But if you don't
hold on one sec, bro. TikTok, y'all not gonna be able to hear nothing because y'all just getting behind the scenes audio. So if y'all want to hear the call, y'all gonna have to come over to YouTube at CFO Sports. Y'all not gonna be able to hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just gonna hear me. Y'all not gonna be able to hear. So y'all gotta come over to the YouTube channel at CFO Sports. So y'all wanna hear the audio line and also call in because y'all not gonna be able to hear. So all right, my bad.
Yeah, but it's just a lot of games where if you would have taken that field goal, you would have been within one possession of trying to get in the game versus being down 2 possessions, But I think what I find myself kind of being fearful of, and I find myself being fearful that everything that we're doing is we're reacting to how bad the secondary was.
Right.
And you have to, right? Because it was so bad. But then, like, we need to get ahead of that curve to where we can start being in position to be proactive,
mm-hmm.
And like, just, they say best player available, but, best player available to what you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we still find ourselves in a position to need a lot, but, if we're in a position to not be, like, always hostage to a certain position group,
mm-hmm.
We're hiring this coach based on the fact that he has, more of a passing background versus being in position just to get somebody who we feel is just going to be the best guy available,
mm-hmm.
And which I have faith in the hire, and I know Shotty's done his homework, like you've been talking about. But I just feel like, we're being reactive to the secondary
mm-hmm.
and feeling like when we know the NFL always changes, right? And
right.
You might mess around and be too reactive to this position group when you could have put yourself in position to, take advantage of whatever, the NFL is going to be lacking,
mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
What got you beat this year might be something totally different next year. That
right.
Our tackles might end up getting us beat.
Right.
We sitting here, on our, comfortable, like, we not, addressing that group because we invested in the offensive line.
Right.
So, either way, and then not even just the draft, but like you say, what's the best move available?
Right.
So what's the next best move? Not just, another secondary move, but what's the best move available? But that's all I got for the show, bro. I'll sit back and listen. Maybe you got some thoughts on that.
Appreciate you, dog. Yeah, I 1000% agree. Yeah, I 1000% agree because here's the
all participants are on hold.
Put on hold. All right, I can call in 530 TikTok. Hold on TikTok. Make sure all right. TikTok's over here struggling. They don't understand. 530-399-4100. 506-9493 #. Someone type that in the chat on TikTok. Hold me down, man. It's still a work in progress for me in TikTok. I'm old, y'all. But I do understand some of the questions that people are asking, exactly like he just mentioned, right? Last year's philosophy, what was it? We were going to stop the run, right? Matt Eberflus came in and was stopping the run. It was linebacker play, defensive front, right? Stop the run, right? And then now it's more like, all right, now we're going to fix the secondary, make plays on the ball, get turnovers, right? Stickier in coverage. So it's like, let's not over calibrate, because sometimes I feel like we try to fix the brakes and then we break the engine, right? I feel like that's what we did last year, right? It's just like, well, everything kind of just broke, right? But it's like, all right, you need balance, right? So that's why it's going to be extremely important about the coaching staff that we put around Christian Parker, because we still need good linebacker coaches. We still need good D-line coaches. Like, let's not just rest on our laurels because we have a DB guy that's up and rising. No. We need a balanced defense on both fronts, right? Let's not just be great versus the pass and horrible versus the run. Let's not go back to that Dan Quinn-ish type atmosphere, type of environment, right? One or the other. So we'll see. But like I said, the key thing is kind of like Brian Schottenheimer, right? We did not know what Schotty's true philosophy was last year. We kind of went off the power run game and the thing that his father liked to do, and we kind of took into consideration some of the things that he did in Seattle with Pete and some of the things he did with the Jets with Eric Mangini. But we didn't really know what Schotty's philosophy was and what he really wanted it to be until we pretty much got throughout the course of the season. It's probably going to be the same thing for Christian Parker. I mean, because Vance Joseph, 3-4 guy, right? So it's like, so are some of those principles going to come over where you're going to be more multiple fronts and run 3-4s versus, Matt Eberflus run a lot of 5-man fronts? Like, so what is that going to look like on the front seven, on the front end, right? So we'll get to sit back and see how it all truly unfolds. Seems better than Hooker and Wilson. Right? Dean and Blankenship. What do you think about White Lightning from Oregon? We drafted him last night on the mock draft. So we drafted him last night at the safety position. Like I said, the hard part is like until we start hearing Christian Parker speak and have that initial press interview, we're not really going to know what's his ingredients. All right. Now, I'll be able to kind of decipher from it, but you never know, right? He might like big thumping linebackers. Pause if you want to, right? But we kind of sit back and see. Yeah, we drafted him last night in the mock. I think we took him in the 3rd round. We might do a mock. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can keep calling in. Or if not, we can do a mock. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gotta tell me not to do a mock draft. Y'all know you know what I'm saying? Just like that. We need some young safeties so Parker can mold them into his system. Young, athletic, wiry safeties. Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you think that we currently have them in-house or no? I'll ask y'all, like, what's your confidence in the safeties outside the room, right? Or sorry, inside house versus outside. Yeah, we don't have a 3rd round or a 2nd round. Yeah, we can trade and get one. Hey, bro, just say you want me to do a mock draft, man. Don't say I want to see you get spicy and exotic on the mock drafts. Hey, that's too much, man. That's too much. That's too much. I guess to each his own. I ain't trying to get spicy and exotic. I just want to do a mock draft. You know what I'm saying? It's a normal, basic mock draft. You know what I'm saying? What type of defense is going to run? Like I said, that's the Yeah, bro. Come on, dog. What we doing? Like, hey, try to, you know what I'm saying? I was going to do a regular basic PFF mock draft. It's a regular one. You know what I'm saying? We ain't putting no baby oil, no zesty, no nut. We ain't doing none of that, right? Not on this channel, right? What type of defense is going to run? We don't know, right? We don't know. We're not going to know until we see it. Like I said, from him coming under, hella pause. See what y'all did? See what y'all did? You know what I'm saying? See what you did, bro? You know what I'm saying? From him being mentored, by some of these other coaches, different philosophies, right? 3-4 schemes, back end disguises. So, like I was saying earlier, it's more like that avatar approach where you might see a mixture of everything kind of mixed in to where he gets his defensive front, right? Because he's not going to go on the podium and be a 3-4 team, and we're going to play quarters coverage. Like, we're going to rotate our safeties towards the number one wide receiver. Like, he's not going to give us all that, right? He's going to talk about some of the things that is needed. And then we're going to go from there. All right. So I want to attempt something. I thought about this while I was in the gym this morning. And TikTok, y'all missing out. So you got to come over to CFO Sports. Who in the chat right now is a draft wizard? Let me know. Let me know if you in the chat right now on YouTube and you've been in your draft bag. I need two people in the chat who was in a draft bag, and I'm going to send y'all the link, and I'm going to let y'all come on the show, and y'all going to run the mock. I'm going to sit back and see. We got some more callers coming in, but I want to see who's going to raise their hand and say me. I want to see y'all cook, man. I've been cooking for 6 years when it comes to the draft, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've proved my point. I want to see some of y'all cook, man. So let me know. You know what I'm saying? Troy, you want one? Is Troy, you raising your hand? Hold on. Got Marv. Let's see here. What up? Yo, call and state your name. Where you from? Yo.
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on with you?
This is MJ. What's up, brother?
What up? What's going on with you, MJ? I need to just save your number in the phone.
Yeah, I like the setup it just did. It was going through. I was watching all you guys how y'all was picking. Y'all did good homework, and your guy was right. Shotty was picking the guy that fit him. Him or Dante would have fit him. And when y'all was doing y'all picking, and I was going through the coaches too, like doing the homework. And then this guy was because the first your boy from Minnesota was up 5. Because when I started up, when I get the Denver guy, I thought he was good. And then, but I went back. What I did, I went back and watched the games against all them teams. And when Dak Prescott played all them teams, you're going to crack up. You know who Dak Prescott, y'all for the crack up. And I didn't want him, and I'm glad they didn't get him because he's old and misused. But this guy's very good that we getting, but it goes with that front four. What I mean by that front four, the team that gave Dak Prescott the worst that he was messing up on when I watched both films was the sorry Arizona. They killed our tap. They were sacking Dak Prescott, making him throw bad passes, and that probably what made Gannon look good in front of the coaching staff. So if you go back and watch that game, Arizona, out of all the game, gave him the worst crowd.
Yeah, bro. If you're being honest, the Cardinals have always had the drop. I'm trying to think, was it 2 years ago, the Buda Baker game that was at home in Dallas, where they were moving Buda Baker all over the field. They were showing, dropping, showing, blitzing, like they had Dak in a blender, and then also the Minnesota Vikings, but also the Denver Broncos as well.
Yeah, and the one game when we played Philly, the first time Philly played them, but you got to remember, I'm going to be quiet, careful with you. Didn't know, but okay, I watched the Denver game. Mm-hmm. We made too many turnovers, and we was calling too much dumb plays, and you was putting too much pressure on your offense. Because these teams that made it to the playoffs, their defense was playing so good, and they're keeping the quarterback in the game for a long time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Even Houston quarterback, even New England quarterback, all them quarterbacks was playing horrible because their defense kept them in the game for a long time. Mm-hmm. Now, like you said, if Dak Prescott gets something like that, he might go undefeated.
Right. Right. Right.
And so that's why I say I can't even. I'm gonna say it right now, guys. We've been putting too much pressure on Dak Prescott. Mm-hmm. After that game, the other day against Houston, all them quarterbacks was, excuse my French, is fucking sorry. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear nothing about Dak Prescott. Ooh. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear nothing about this food. I almost hit my car. I don't want to hear nothing about Dak Prescott ever again, man. After I saw that Houston game, mm-hmm. and everybody trying to make these quarterbacks like they got it going on, mm-hmm. these quarterbacks are not good because even when Dak had problems, he still got more power on his offense. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's just his defense just be so sorry.
I agree. I agree.
They defense kept all them teams in the game. I said, man, if we get a defense like this, Dak Prescott might go 18-0.
Man, it would be nice. It would be nice, man, especially with the offense that we had. And here's the thing: we don't even need to have Seattle defense. Just half a defense would have got us over the curve, man. So, hopefully, Christian Parker can definitely improve that. Because here's what I'll say about Cowboys fans who are anti-Christian: you can't get no worse. Can't get no worse. You know what I'm saying? So it's only but up from here. So that's the one positive upside, man.
That's the one positive. Another positive is what I heard, and that was profound. I was listening to the show and one of these other shows, and what the dude said that really caught my eye. He said the guy go back. If you don't study, it's like when we do our Bible class with the Israelites. They make us study because when we go on the street teaching, and all the people that think they know the Bible, and they don't know the Bible, they really don't know the Bible. They just be saying just bringing up goofy stuff. The guy said he make you like me and you play for the Cowboys when we go to the class. If we try to be quiet, he make us you CB, you gotta tell me something. Break this down. He make us break down.
Right, gotta interact.
All them DBs like this, ain't no way they could be done.
Right. Facts.
That's the key.
Facts. And
that's the facts, y'all.
And that's what we need, bro.
Ain't that true?
That's facts, right? Engagement, right? It's those things that holding players accountable, and in the film room, at practice, making sure they ain't falling asleep. Like, hey, nah. You explain to me this coverage, right? You tell me what was going on. You tell me, right? Why was there miscommunication between you and the secondary safeties? Like, what's going on? Why are we constantly having these issues, right? That's the thing that I think that Christian Parker's going to be, and I think he's going to earn the respect from the players. He'd be like, all right, that's on me, coach. But yo, Mark, appreciate you for calling. MJ, we got some more calls holding, man. Appreciate you, dog.
Good job, man. And one thing before you leave, I'm gonna say it again. I want to get the Cincinnati DN so I can keep that 1 and 2, so I can get me a corner, a linebacker, or corner or safety.
Trey Hendrickson.
And there you go.
All right, there we go. Now it's time to build the staff, build the personnel. Let's get back to it. All right, appreciate you, my dog.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. Thank you.
Oh, we got more calls coming. I see you call us. Hold on. Anybody raise them hand? Anybody raise their hand to come on and do some mock draft, or y'all want to see me run it? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, Tuck, just go. I'll run it. Let's see here. Yo, caller, state your name. Where you from? Yep.
Yeah, it's Troy.
Hey, what's going on with you, Troy?
Not much, buddy. It's Williams, Troy Williams, not Troy Dudley.
Oh, okay. What's going on with you, dog?
What's up?
Nothing. How you feeling about this hire?
Oh, dang. Okay, I didn't know I was on.
Oh yeah, you on. Yeah, you on.
So the hire. So first, you got to give the Joneses their credit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Dallas. I ain't never known us to have no black coordinators, okay?
Facts.
All right, maybe assistant coaches, but never a DC.
Bro, we interviewed plural.
So
we interviewed plural.
You remind me of some that we've had in the past, but I don't remember any. So I got to give them credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Arizona guy would have been a bad fit.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Denver would have been a bad fit. The things, so there's positives and negatives, right? So let's go with the positives first.
Okay.
Or you want to go with the negatives first?
Start with the positives.
Positives. All right, positives. So the positives are, we got a fresh new face, right?
Uh-huh.
New ideas. He can bring some energy. He can bring some, and he is a division. He's in the division coach, so we can get some of that inside stuff when we see the Eagles again. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be good. But from what I've seen, from the people he's touched, from Sertan to the D in Philly, he could be a developer. He's a good developer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about teacher and scheme though.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to have a scheme when you got Pro Bowlers at your cornerback position.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta see about that. But from the positive standpoint, I think he could be fresh. And then Shotty would have somebody that he can kind of take under his wing. He won't be, he won't have somebody that he gotta, battle with about certain football philosophy stuff, because this guy's coming in, he's learning, as opposed to Eberflus, who already had his ideas of what he wants to do and how he wants to do it.
Right.
And so I think that could be a good blend. I did like Jones better, because I felt like Jones would have gave us the kind of Flores scheme that we needed to really confuse our these opponent quarterbacks who we're going to come against. We have to have we got to have schemes. And so we got to be able to teach, but then we need to have some schemes on the back end, especially when our talent is not as high as it is. That we're going to have schemes to make up for the lack of talent. And so that's where I think we kind of missed on Jones. Right. Now, the negative I would say is that we got a bare bones defense, bro. Like, we needed somebody that was going to be able to come in there and, just hit the ground running. We got a guy that's going to have to learn on the job. You don't really want a guy that's going to learn on the job when he's already have a defense lack of talent.
Right.
So his the defense lack of talent, him learning on the job, there's going to be some mistakes his first year.
Right.
So, that's the piece that's going to be challenging for us. And we don't know if he has any experience on building a defense. We need somebody that knows how to build a defense. You know what I mean? Now maybe he has some say in the draft picks or whatever, but his history doesn't say that. You know what I mean? He's not in a leadership position like that to be really making picks on players. And we need somebody that understands what that defense intensity needs to be. We need to be defensively. We should be looking like the Texans. We should be looking like Denver. Right. So I don't know if, you know what I mean? It's one thing to inherit the talent. It's another thing to go out and pick and build
it. Right.
The team, the defensive team, and the talent.
Yeah.
So, and we already know we don't have nobody else in the front office that can build a defense, or they would have did it last year. So we got to be able to have somebody in there that knows how to identify the right guys.
Right. Yeah.
That would be my negative for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Overall, I think it's going to be a positive move for us.
Yeah, I agree. Right. I think the long term, this play will work out. It's just going to be the short. It's going to be some turbulence, but I think it's important to put talent around them early. Put talent around, just like you got Dan Quinn, because a lot of people Dan Quinn has his faults, but Micah Parsons, you know what I'm saying, he hit a lot of that, you know. So it's like if you get him some talent, some of those mistakes, you can have players that can mask it. So that's why I think free agency and the draft will be important, man. But appreciate you for calling in, man. Keep representing out there in Dallas.
No problem. Hey, and I appreciate what you did with the Texas linebacker. He is the dude, bro.
Anthony Hill Jr.
For linebacker.
I do not know. Yeah. I do not know why people aren't talking about Anthony Hill Jr. I would have never thought that you told me last year, like, yo, Tuck, when we get to draft season, you know, you're gonna have to fight for Anthony Hill Jr. Like, I wasn't even gonna do much study on him because, like, man, everybody's gonna be on him. But I kept sitting back and I'm like, hold on, you know what I'm saying?
235. He run a 4.3. He done led the Texas defense for almost 3 years.
3 years. 3 years since Anthony Hill Jr. has, like I said, I played football with his dad, right? His dad was my football teammate.
Okay,
you know, he was my 3 tech, you know what I'm saying? So I know his dad well. Yeah. I was there when he was born. So it's like, I've known this kid. Like, he's ran track. He's played running back in high school. He played safety. He played defensive end, linebacker. Like, he's just a pure football player. From the moment he has stepped foot on that campus out there at UT, he has been instant impact. And I'm just like, all of a sudden now, people are saying, oh, I got a 4th round grade, 5th round. I'm like, the only thing he had bad this year, he hurt his hand at the end of the season, but it was just a hand injury. It wasn't nothing too crazy. So I was like, I don't understand it, man. And he's a man child.
He went to like Denton Ryan.
He went to Denton Ryan. So he played in that championship series at Frisco, because he has a photo with Jerry after they won the championship. So it was him, and you remember the linebacker that went to the Broncos that we liked a few years, Drew Sanders, right? So it was him and Drew Sanders, like that Denton Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a football mecca. So it's just like, he's I don't know.
And he kept on campus and did his thing, and it's like, where we at? Okay, 12, we probably do need to get a DB, but it depends, though, because we got some good DBs in the back end. And, like, I'm figuring, like, if we can, here's my only thing. I want the 2-1, you know, I want the 2 first rounders, but if we can move back just a little bit and stay in the first round, we could get in here and we can get some more pieces. Them first 2 rounds, that's not enough for our defense. We need to move back.
Yeah, I think the 20 has to be a trade back. Knowing the Cow, unless something crazy happens, I think the 20 has to be a trade back, because you need volume. You need volume, and the Cowboys like volume, right? You know, so yeah, man. So
we don't have no day 2 picks, so we got. And it's some talent right there in them day 2 picks.
Yeah, it's a lot of talent.
So defensive talent, because they got some good corners on the back end with some length and physicality, which is good. They got a couple of DNs, you know, that's going to be, of course, if they're in the 2nd or 3rd round, they're going to need some development. But they'll be a good pick for us. So, yeah, man. I appreciate you giving me your time, though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate you. All right. So we're going to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to cook, man. Let's just do a quick little mock draft out here. TikTok, if y'all want to see the mock draft, come over to CFO Sports on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to cook up real quick and get up out of here real quick. Is this Margarita's hire? I don't know. What is Margarita's hire? I don't know what Margarita's hire is. I had a margarita. Well, no. Did I have a margarita the other day? I had a margarita the other day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did have a margarita the other day when I was in Vegas. Yeah, of course. It was my birthday. I had margaritas out in Vegas. All right, so let's go ahead and knock out this mock draft real quick. And then I'm going to let y'all on y'all way, man. Appreciate all the support, man. We are rocking and rolling on YouTube. We're growing. You know, some of y'all might not even be Cowboys fans. A lot of y'all coming over just from the draft content. I keep bangers loaded. I haven't even gotten to my bag yet. FYI, I will be at the Senior Bowl next week. I'll be at the Senior Bowl next week, live in coverage. I'll be interviewing some players. There are some players, man. This Senior Bowl roster, it was kind of but now it's starting to grow a little bit, man. So it's like, you know, you're going to have Ruben Bain out there, David Bailey. You're going to have D'Angelo Pons from Indiana. He's going to be out there. You know, a guy that I'm really interested in watching is Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pitt's going to be out there. Oh man, like it's just going to be crazy, right? Romello Height from Texas Tech is going to be out there. I think Keandre Scott just announced from Miami. He's going to be out there as well. So it's like, it's going to be a tons of talent out there. And for me personally, Cowboys Nation, I do got to start, saying, not just for y'all, because I know Cowboys fans want to keep me all to themselves, right? Like, I'm saying? Like, Tuck is our wizard, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's our draft guy. But I'm having people asking me about like centers and guards, and I haven't even like started scouting that because that's what we don't need, right? So I'm gonna start looking heavily into like centers and guards and tackles and those types of positions. Even though the Cowboys don't need them, there's other people asking me questions. Like I haven't started scouting those centers or guards as of right now. I know some tackles that have guard flex, but so try to keep me all to yourself, Cowboys Nation. But everybody's starting to be aware of the wizard in the draft cover. So people ask me like, oh man, what guard should we need a center? Well, I'm like, hey man, I ain't got to no centers yet. I ain't gotten to no centers in this year's draft yet. So let's see here. Mock draft simulator. All right, we're gonna do 7 rounds. All right. We're not gonna do a trade back just due to time because we gotta get up out of here. I got some businessman to take care of. Like I said, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And so what's the other page name? So the other page is the J Tuck Show. To be honest with you guys, I haven't uploaded much content yet because I won't say too much, but I started a completely separate business venture that's outside of content. And I will say this, guys, like, I feel like I'm over my head. I've invested a shit ton of money already. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I have great mentors and great teams around me, right? And the fact that I feel that way, it got me excited. So I'm learning, right? So, I'm doing that business. And so when I'm not doing content or focusing on draft prospects, I'm there. Like, the other day when we were late for cover 3, I was on a phone call because things with the business was going crazy. And when you are the guy of the business, you got decisions to make. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I can't be like, all right, I got to jump on a live show. I'm trying to get this thing off the ground. So, the J Tuck Show was something I launched. And I'm going to work on it. We're going to build it. But for now, I'm just going to focus over here because that over there, man, it's completely different monster, but I'm excited about it, man. It was completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like lawyers and stuff were involved and CPAs and contracts. And I was like, all right, man. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. But hey, it's the price you got to pay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this mock draft. Bang, bang. TikTok, you got to come over to the channel. I'm trying to tell y'all, CFO gang gonna tell y'all, come over to the channel. You know what I'm saying? We're doing 3 million over on TikTok, but hey, man, y'all still got to come over to the channel if you want to see all the fun stuff. Because I don't know how to, TikTok doesn't let me share screen. While I do mock drafts on TikTok, it bans my account, right? Like, so I just don't do anything, right? So all my TikTok lives is just behind the scenes me talking, all right? So let's get it. We're not going to change. We're not going to trade. I'm just going to run through it. I actually like the randomness down, all right? Just a tad. All right, Cowboys pick. Let's let it rip. All right, bang. So here we go. What happened? We had Fernando Mendoza went 1. Jeremiah Love to the Jets would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Arvo Reese to the Cardinals. David Bailey to the Titans. Caleb Downs to New York. Peter Woods, Ruben Bain to Washington. Jordan Tyson to the Saints. Carnell Tate to the Chiefs. Mekhi Lemon to the Bengals. How many wide receivers did the Bengals freaking need? Jamar McCoy to the Dolphins. So now we're looking at the situation. All right. Let me do this. That got rid of me. I want to see me on the screen. All right. So we have Sonny Styles. I think that's the favorite. That's the darling of a lot of Cowboys fans, which I would not be opposed to that. Keldrick Falk. I spoke about him lightly. We'll get into his film. He's more of your lunch pail, run defending, edge setting defensive end, right? Think kind of like that Dorian Armstrong mold, that Marshawn Nealon mode, rest in peace, like that kind of mold. I don't think there's a lot of attractiveness when it comes to him for a pick at 12. Mansour Delane, we'll get into his film Saturday. Sticky corner. Personally, I liked him better at LSU. Didn't like his film. Well, I don't say didn't like. His film at LSU is different at Virginia Tech last year, right? So overall, good prospect. All right. Cassius Howe. I'm not just giving him the hometown flavor because he's from Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Kansas City kid, but disruptive havoc edge rusher, right? Third down guy, peel your ears back, get the quarterback. Love him as a prospect. Don't love him as a fit for the Cowboys because I think that's what Donovan Izaraku needs to be. Caleb Banks were good there. I think he's going to be at the Senior Bowl. Spencer Fano, I don't want y'all to be mad at me. Consider it. Avian Terrell is one of my favorite corners. I think he's going to get the size knock, so he's going to fall down. Francis played magnificent in that national championship game at right tackle. I know a lot of y'all hate Terrence Steele, and I'm not going to get the Denzel Boston or Caden McDonald. So I will turn things over to y'all, Cowboys Nation. If this is what I'm looking at, right, I'm considering Sonny Styles. Now, let's see if there's a trade back, even though I said there was none, right? Chargers want me to trade back to 22. What can I lift off the Cardinals? They have 55 and 86. So would y'all trade back from 12 to 22 and get 55 and let's say 86? You know what? I see Delane. I see one vote for Delane. TikTok. What do y'all know? Y'all can't see the draft, but what y'all want? Cornerback, Delane. Y'all wouldn't trade back from 12 to 22 and pick up a second and a third? You want the corner? I want the corner. I don't think you can get. All right, y'all voting for Delane. All right, so we're going to get Mansour Delane. All right, cool. What am I trading away from? Honestly, you're probably just trading away from Sonny Styles. You're trading away from Mansour. You're probably trading away from Cassius. I think Avian will still be there. Francis will be there. Parker, Anthony Hill, Colton Hood, Brandon Seiss will be there. Keem Messidor will be at the Senior Bowl. He'll be there. So there will still be guys there. You know what I'm saying? Could you get you probably could. You probably could. You probably could. All right. Y'all going with Delane. Let's go with Delane. All right. All right. So we'll do that. We'll go with Delane. And then let's see if we can trade back this 20. Ooh, Avian Terrell. Oh, so Avian Terrell went 15. So we got sniped anyway, right? All right. All right. So now, I don't want to make y'all mad, but you know what I'm saying? Now we can consider a trade back. Let's see what we have. Texans 28, Patriots 30. What else do they have? Let's see. Could we do that? Am I being too greedy? Am I being too greedy? Trade back from 20 to 28 and get pick 59. Hold up. The Patriots. We could trade back to pick 30 and 62. No. I would consider trading back to 28, but they gotta give me more. They gotta give me more than that, baby. 59. That 38. You know what? Let's do it for fun. No, that's not gonna be accepted. Man, let's try. Bam. All right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do that. All right, resume the draft. So trade back. Okay, boom. So Christian Miller, we already took a corner. You can get two of them. And Brandon Seiss. Akeem Messidor, edge. Keith Abney, really good corner. Anthony Hill Jr. sitting right there. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Hill Jr. sitting right there to get him at 28. I think that's a great value for Anthony Hill Jr. Get your linebacker. For me, I'm going with Anthony Hill Jr. I'm going with Anthony Hill Jr. AJ Halsey is a really good safety as well. Hill, it's a no-brainer to go and get Anthony Hill right here, right? Anthony Hill, bang, bang, bang. Bang, that makes sense. All right, so now we are at pick 59. All right. I know a lot of people are probably thinking corner here, or edge maybe. Even though, Darrell Jackson. Now, I don't let me get on 3 techs. Kamari Ramsey, right? Because there's your safety. Darian Price, Dominique Orange. We don't need a big nose. We don't need a corner. Anthony Lucas. Not super fandom about Anthony Derek Moore. So Darrell Jackson, but we don't draft out of Florida State. Danny Sutton, Jacob Rodriguez. So someone asked, you could if you go with Anthony Hill Jr., Jacob Rodriguez, and Overshown, your linebacker core is set. I'd do it. What pick and say, and I'll do it to you too. I would go with Jacob Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? You go with your two linebackers. You know what I'm saying? And then technically let Overshown be your big nickel. You know, your hybrid coverage guy. And that would mean you're out on Maris. You'll be out on, Shamar James. So realistically, I would consider Kamari Ramsey safety out of USC. But I mean, I would, I mean, I don't think we can get him at 106, but we can gamble. We can roll the dice and see if we can get him at 106. But I would consider Kamari Ramsey here. I would consider Kamari Ramsey. We have a new secondary coach, right? He's going to need weapons. So, all right, cool. CPU win. Well, let's see if we could circle back. I think he's got a snipe. No, he's gone. He gone. Oh, he just went. Dang. That would have been a snipe. All right. All right, so here we are. You have Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, who will be at the Senior Bowl as well. We already got a safety, so Michael Toffee's out. Damon Claiborne. Do y'all want to get reinforcements in the interior defensive line? There's some running backs to consider. Mike Washington. But I know how you guys are feeling very high about Jaden Blue. Held Perkins, geeked up linebacker. He slid for some odd reason. Let's look at the edges. He's at 3 safeties. Mekhi Lawrence is an interesting. Nadame Tucker is still there. Let me see if I can come back and get Nadame Tucker. All right. I'm still not sure if Xavier Scott has declared. So I agree. I think we're not going to go all defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got, you know what I'm saying? I would consider Katron Allen here. Ruben Bain Jr., the Boston. Is that you're talking about Donovan, I assume? The one that we currently have out of Boston College? Go with Katron Allen. Let's see if we can circle back. All right. We didn't lose much. All right, cool. Then you can consider I think we're overstocked in defensive interior. The Cowboys are due offensive line eventually. They're going to just take one. With Max, right tackle, right? So that's kind of their forte, right? 100% right tackle with Max. They will consider it. What's his measurables? Let me make sure. 6'6", 330. That's right at their right tackle alley. Edge rusher, I'm holding off on edge because I know I can get Nadame Tucker probably with the next pick. So I'm going to hold off on him. I'll put you guys on the Nana May Tucker here shortly. So let's go with, you said 2 edges. The edges, we'll get the edge after this pick, right? I'll get you guys your edges after this. Let's go with Max because they're going to want a right tackle eventually. Bang, 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 bang. Unless we get sniped on Nadame. All right. Did we get sniped? Let's see here. Edge. Yeah, they sniped us. My bad. My bad. Oh, Dean Miller, my dog out of KU. Where'd he go? So Dan Quinn got Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. Where did Nadame Tucker go? They sniped him. They sniped him. Where'd he go? 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 Like what? The Saints got him. 2 picks before. They sniped him and Harold Perkins. All right. So we rolled the dice and we missed out. All right. But I feel like we're gonna sign Clowney, to be honest with y'all. We'll re-sign Clowney. Unless he goes for some crazy amount. You have Aiden Fisher, Bishop Fitzgerald, Cole Brever, defensive terrier. Isaiah Nicolia. Any SMU fans out there? Any Georgia players at D-line? O-line? I don't think so. They're probably all gone. So you're probably looking Kyle Lewis. All right. So Kyle Lewis is another sneaky good linebacker that I'm going to be excited to watch at the Senior Bowl, man. I'm really excited to see this kid, Kyle the Shark Lewis. You know what I'm saying? He plays hard. He plays revved up. He's probably going to get the size. Not where they have him measured at. 6'1", 220. They're going to say he's too small. So okay, say Isaiah struggles in coverage. I haven't dove deep into his film. Let me watch that. Let me watch at the Senior Bowl and see how his coverage skills are going. Because he could be your big nickel. Depends on how he measures. Right? He could measure. Cornerback. All right. So you want another cornerback. Takario Davis out of Washington. I liked him a lot better at Arizona. I mean, he fits that Dan Quinn freakish, right, mold. 6'4", 200 pounds, long ass arms. But he really struggled at Washington. Not familiar with George Gums Jr. Not familiar with DeMonte Capehart either. I really haven't gotten to defensive interiors as of yet because I feel like we're overstocked. Dane Key, wide receiver. Bud Clark. Damani Jackson, you can go corner there from Alabama. If you guys want to go another corner. Aiden Fisher out of Indiana. Not the most athletic guy. Is probably your special teamer. I'm still trying to look for impact. We could consider getting another tight end, but not Miles Kesselman. Chase Roberts. I think we're good at wide receiver. Even though I do like Branch, though. We've got a lot of picks left now. Let's see. We could go. I would probably consider interior with Cole Brevert. We already got Anthony Hill. It says SMU has the worst secondary for a 9-14. Yeah, I mean, but they sometimes you can't judge a player off the entirety of the team. You got to watch them on an individual basis. Go Cole Brevert. We're kind of good at 3-tech, but some more big bodies, man. You're always going to need big bodies. Let's go with Cole. You gotta need big bodies, man. Get Christian Parker some big bodies. Jalen Daniels, my guy. Why is Jalen Daniels not at the Senior Bowl? Did he not get an invite? You still got Kyle Lewis, Cage Casey, Dane Key. Me personally, Terrion Stewart. So, we already took a running back, big physical running back, man. He plays bully ball. Like he fits what Shoddy likes. Taylor Green will be at the Senior Bowl as well, I believe. Cole Payton will be interesting. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm strongly considering drafting a backup quarterback. Oh, Josh Moulton is still available, but I'm not going to take him yet. So with these picks, I'm going to go with Kyle Lewis. Just get me the best football player, I believe, available. All right. Then fall to me. All right. Fall to me. Then I'm going to turn around. You got Grayson Halton. So Grayson Halton, I'm from Charleston. You're right on Clowney that he resigns. I think he does resign, to be honest with you. You can get Rod later, but I like how you're thinking. Let's see here. I would consider here Grayson Halton. He's an interior guy, but he's kind of light in the ass a little bit, but he's just an interior pass rushing defensive tackle. You can never have too much of those. VJ Payne out of Kansas State, unless y'all want y'all two safeties, right? You can go that route. But I also want a veteran safety. Where did they take my corner that I had? I think they did. This thing moving so fast. You can still get Traden Stukes. Traden Stukes, Senior Bowl kid. Definitely keep an eye on him. We'll talk about him all next week. I don't know why PFF has him so low. He's probably one of the best cornerbacks in college football. Probably be a day 2 pick, possibly. Josh Moulton went to the Rams. Josh Moulton's a very interesting prospect. I'm gonna drop his film for y'all, but man, ball hawk, right? Small school guy, right? But he can play in the slot, outside. He can play all over. So that'll be one of those, when we get deep in the draft season where we kind of knocked out all the top guys and, we're really trying to dive deep. Josh Moulton will be one. Kyle Lewis will be one. Who did I mention? Grayson Halton will be one that we'll talk about as far as like unknown guys. VJ Payne will be another one. And then Terrion Stewart will be another one. And those will kind of be those guys that's kind of like, all right, ain't nobody talking about these. That will be the film session that I'll drop. I'll probably do like 45 views, you know what I'm saying? Because no one's searching for it, but just for the culture. Yeah, see, Moulton's a dog, right? Moulton's a dog, and people don't know about him, so I'm just like, but I know if I drop a Josh Moulton film session right now, it's going to do 15 views. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I'll wait to that for later. I'll wait and get into that. Ain't nobody going to care about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some of these kids as prospects on. So Grayson Halton, love him. Interior pass rusher guy. More wood in the fire. Let's wrap it up, B. Then I really like Jam Miller, but we already got a running back. All right. Let me ask y'all this. This might be a separate video. If Javonte is asking for 12 million, 11, 12 million, and Rico is asking for 6, who's y'all guy? Who's y'all guy? Hopefully Christian Parker, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully Christian Parker, Yeah, I'm not, y'all know me, I'm not a measurables guy. I want ball players first, So I see Javonte. So Javonte is going over 10. Y'all want Javonte over Rico? See, this will probably be tomorrow's video. Right? I think this will be tomorrow's video. You know, hey, bro, hey, I don't want them people to come out. If I say that, they don't. I ain't dealing with that headache today, right? But I think that's a question. You know, Javonte looked damn good, and Javonte's still young. You know what I'm saying? But Rico showed he can still run that ball too if given the opportunity, and if he's cheaper, you know. So this pick, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go with get my corner and see if he's still there. Dukes. It's a free layup. And then I'm going to go with Cole Payton, a new project quarterback in Dallas, because I'm over the Joe Milton thing. Give me the guys that learn quick and play with heart and love the game are consistently available. Yeah, that's me, right? That's the number one thing. And we'll do this on some late nights. Like we're still in January, y'all. We'll get to the draft film sessions, but you know, when I scout players, man, the number one thing I want to see is I see a football player. Okay. So they gave us a B- for Mansour, a C+ for Anthony Hill Jr., which is stupid. Kamari Ramsey a A, Katron Allen a B, Max a C+, Cole Brevard a C, Kyle Lewis a A-, Grayson Halton a C, Trayden Stukes a C-, and Cole Payton a A-, overall B+. I'm not mad at it. We get our corner. Linebacker room improves. Kamari Ramsey's instant starter. Katron Allen to rotate in with Javonte or Rico or Jaden or whoever, right? Cole Brevard, big body to toss into the fire. Kyle Lewis, another geeked up player, special teamer, but he'll add value. Grayson Halton, interior pass rusher, can get pressure on third downs from the interior. Geek corner, downgraded to the 7th round. I have no idea why PFF has him graded so low. Cole Payton, project guy, but has a big arm and some accuracy and some athleticism. And then said, go get Max Crosby Hendrickson. Let me ask you guys this last thing important before I go. All right. Joey Bosa. Y'all consider going after Bosa? Hendrickson is realistic. Max. I don't know. Joey Bosa, you could probably flex it. And here's the exciting part. no, y'all know on Bosa. All right, I'm saying, I'm trying to be Stephen Jones sheet, but here's the thing. Maybe with Christian Parker, he can entice players to want to come to Dallas and play for us. All right. So hey, listen, I'm not the biggest Joey Bosa fan, right? But he's a name and he's cheap. Maybe he kind of cheap, right? But that kind of fits the Cowboys mold. But if you're gonna go with it, you probably just go with Clowney. I think it'd be better off, man. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. You'll be rocked a little bit longer than expected, man. But I just want to vibe with Cowboys Nation. We had over 3,000 people tuning in right now live. Dope, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, whether you're on TikTok, man, we're going crazy on TikTok right now. YouTube channel, CFO Sports, Instagram right now. Appreciate all the love and support. We are going to turn up, man. I'm in a good spirit. I'm in a good mode. You know, I'm enjoying doing content again. You know, I kind of trim the fat, as they'll say, mentally. You know, got to trim it physically. You know, I'm back in the bench. I'm back in the weight room. Don't tell my wife. I'm back bench pressing. You know what I'm saying? I got 45s on the side. You know what I'm saying? Got 45s on the side. So I'm back to feeling good, man. There you go, bro. There's your wrench. I thought a lot of y'all had wrenches. If not, let me pass them back out. You know what I'm saying? I thought a lot of y'all had wrenches. If not, I'll give them back out. I think did I not give you a wrench? I just gave you a wrench. All right. So yeah, I got a wrench. Okay, so yeah, man. Appreciate all the love and support, man. Like I said, I'm back in good spirits, man. I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. I'm putting my head down, doing the work. The next 2 weeks is going to be big for us, CFO gang, because like I said, now they are approving us, right? It's us at the Senior Bowl, right? It's going to be us at the Super Bowl, right? On my credentials, it no longer says the radio station. No, not the radio station. So to, the radio station, but it now says CFO Sports on their credentials, right? So the NFL has finally taken notice of what we do here as community, the work that I put in, and they're now saying, all right, he's good. Now, the Cowboys, we'll see. We'll see. But, they're now appreciative of what we're doing. I got a lot of great feedback, man. A lot of scouts have already hit me up like, yo, give me a Senior Bowl. I got some people lined up as guests, all sorts of stuff. For the next 2 weeks, man, I'm going to be on the road. So I'll be at the Senior Bowl Tuesday through Friday. I come back home, get a haircut, shave up a little bit, and then Monday I'm out in San Francisco for a week, and I'll be live on Radio Row covering the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl. So hopefully some of our guys will be there. I know Pickens in the Pro Bowl, Dak, Ferg. So I'll be covering the Pro Bowl and all sorts of stuff, man. And y'all know I'm taking y'all with me, man. I'm taking y'all behind the scenes. I got brand new equipment, you know what I'm saying? So I could have my audio all mic'd up. I got my camera crew coming out there with me. So we are going to have fun out there on the road. My dog DMV will be at the Senior Bowl with me. So, we're staying in the same room. So we'll probably be live for hours. You know what I'm saying? So y'all probably be sick of us talking about it. But I got my notes. My little draft notes, you know what I'm saying? Focus. You know what I'm saying? This is my, I'll see if I can see it. Hold on. Focus. You probably can't see because it's all white, right? But it's a little sheet that I use for all my draft scouting, man. So I got my wife. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it, right? So I got, school, athletic ability, competitive toughness, play strength, mental processing, play speed, gap blocking, zone blocking. This is for offensive lineman, pass pro. So I got my notes ready for the Senior Bowl. I told my wife, man, print it all out. And we're going to lock in, big wizardry going on. But I could not do that without you guys, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, wherever, for you guys supporting me. But it's a huge win for us to be recognized by the NFL. You don't have to go through hoops, man, because, at first it was just like, bang, we ain't knowing I go through hoops, man. I say, yo, I'm coming to the Super Bowl. They said, bet, Tuck, you're already in the system. You're good. Probably won't do the combine. Maybe we'll see about the draft, but like I said, I think I want to be in Dallas for the draft, right? Depends. I've never been to Pittsburgh, PA, but it doesn't sound like Tuckish. I ain't got no beaches in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? So, I probably might come to Dallas. I might talk to a few content creators where we might do a live draft show down there in Dallas. So if you are in Dallas, we'll pull up. But we'll get all that ironed out, man. So I appreciate you all for all support. I'm going to stay safe. Stay blessed, stay encouraged. And Christian Parker is our defensive coordinator. Let's support them, Cowboys Nation. Let's see how this thing all unfolds. Peace. This video is brought to you by Sleeper, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. And right now, Sleeper is doing something crazy, unimaginable. Yes, Sleeper right now is giving you a free $20. Yep, free. All you have to do is be a new subscriber and download Sleeper, and Sleeper will give you $20 in your account to play your daily fantasy pick. So if you want to pick Dak Prescott to go over his passing yards because he's playing at an MVP level, just use Sleeper. And also, if you want to make a deposit, use the code CFO. Sleeper will match 100% up to $100. So download Sleeper, get your free $20 to play daily fantasy sports, and also use the code CFO to get 100% up to $100 on your match. And let's go get this money, gang.